You gotta see this one. Modern college education system's nothing short of a scam, diverting focus from useful academic subjects to prioritize politically charged woke topics. This shift is detracted from essential learning, preparing students less effectively for the real-world challenges they'll face post-graduation. Charlie Kirk highlights these issues during his campus debates, but this one was different. Since the student wasn't listening to him and constantly interrupting him, she eventually got mad and resorted to name-calling because her argument would not stand in the face of logic and any common sense. But before I delve deeper into it, watch the clip.
I said college is a scam, not grade school.
Right.
Keep going.
So we're talking about the financial part, right? So do you think that college should be free then, so that everybody can get like a free education?
No.
Why not?
By the way, what's happening in college is not an education.
Well, okay. You don't think that college should be free because it's not an education? If it was...
no.
Wait. If it was an education in your eyes, would you think that should be free, or
what do you mean by free? You mean paid by somebody else?
Well, sure, taxpayer dollars would go to pay for it.
So paid by somebody else.
Sure.
Sure. No, I don't believe that your schooling should be paid by somebody else.
I want my taxes to go to schooling for everybody. I think education's great. I don't want my taxes to go to fund wars. I don't want my taxes to go to the military or the police budget, but I don't get to pick.
You don't want any military?
I don't think that it should go to fund the military like that. I want my taxes.
You don't want any police force?
I want my taxes to go towards education because I think education is valuable. Do you think that education should be paid for?
So define education, I'm curious.
Sure, it's just I would probably say that education right now is the ability to go out and learn different mindsets, to be introduced to different subjects, to have the opportunities to talk about these things with a lot of different kinds of people. I think that's the really cool part about college. Someone like you can come here and have different opinions. My history teacher just talked about how he does this whole I'm a conservative, old school conservative act, and then one of my other teachers, she's like, I'm a bleeding hippie, you know? There's a lot of opportunities to just be introduced to subjects you didn't even know were a thing. I didn't know that semiotics was a thing until my last philosophy class, and I think that's really interesting. So just the idea that you get to go out to this place and you get to get taught about a bunch of different ideas, are you against that being available for everyone?
I have a completely different view of what education is. So education in Latin means to lead forth.
Okay.
Your idea of education is the new age, which is we're going to have a buffet line of postmodern ideas and all ideas are treated the same. I don't believe that at all. College means partnership in Greek, and going back to education, you must lead forth towards something. And I think college should lead you towards the good, the true, and the beautiful.
By the way, do subscribe for more discussions like this. This student is everything that modern education aims to produce. You see, our educational system has undergone significant changes over recent years, with a noticeable shift towards including woke subjects in the curriculum. These subjects focus on social justice, diversity, equity, inclusion, and a reevaluation of historical narratives from perspectives that highlight systemic injustices and underrepresented communities. This has sparked debates about the role and scope of education, especially since, quote, the average cost of college tuition in the US for undergraduate students has more than tripled, multiplying by 3.8 times over the last 58 years. This excessive focus on social agendas only compromises the quality of education and the development of critical thinking skills in students, which are crucial for personal and professional success. It also dilutes traditional academic disciplines such as mathematics, science, and literature. Additionally, the funding of modern education using taxpayer money should be off the table. Why should the regular taxpayer fund the teaching of ideologically driven programs? The woke left has many organizations under its thumb that can provide private scholarships, so I think that should be the way forward instead of focusing on making the educational system funded through socialist methods.
See, I don't engage with you on the ideas that good, true, and beautiful are something that can be defined and something that can be taught.
You're perfect evidence of why I think college is a scam.
Why do you... Wait, I don't...
Because of course they could be defined, and they should be sought after.
Okay, so you think that something like the beautiful, the perfect...
Yes.
Something but what about just the idea that you get to go to a place, you get taught about different subjects, you get the opportunity, okay, I'm sorry, because you don't have access to all these things wherever you come from. You get the opportunity to talk to people who know a lot about these different subjects and get to learn about that. You don't think that should be free or provided
First of all, I don't think it should be free, and I don't think that's what education should be or what it once was when it was at its best.
When do you think it was at its best? Because we have the Indian Golden House of, I think it was called the Baghdad Golden House of Wisdom. We have the Greek and Roman, and they had their whole thing about how you have to learn astrology at the same time as learning your education.
Correct.
We have like so many different points of learning and knowledge. I think people just love to learn. I think learning is inherent to what we want to do with our lives.
So two thoughts. That is the first line of Aristotle's Metaphysics, which is all people seek to know, that something within us wants to learn. So to answer your question, when was education at its best?
You were the one who was like, education is not at their best here. You're like, this is your new age bullshit. Like
it is. So
when was it good?
I was about to say that, and you interrupted me again. Okay.
My bad. I'm sorry.
All right. So it was at its best when we had a thing called classical education here in America, specifically around the American founding. Classical education has a prioritization on Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle, and the core canon of Greek thinking, which is that there is an abstract, distant good, the logos, which created the world, right? I want to try to find out more about what that is.
So you think that education should revolve around ethics then? You think it should be teaching people...
Well, it's a big part of education, yes. I think that creating good people should be the #1 priority of education.
She's clearly contradicting herself because she's not here to listen to a single word Charlie has to say. The fundamental purpose of attaining a higher education always went beyond gaining academic knowledge. It's about instilling goodness into the students. A core aspect of producing good citizens through education is the development of critical thinking skills, which enables individuals to analyze information, question its validity, and make informed decisions. It empowers students to engage with complex social, political, and ethical issues thoughtfully and responsibly, instead of just following the crowd of uninformed woke leftists. These skills are essential for participation in democratic processes, such as civic debate, ensuring that individuals can make decisions that reflect both personal conviction and a consideration for the common good. Education also plays a crucial role in instilling core ethic values such as integrity, fairness, and respect for others. These values are the foundation of positive social interactions and the smooth functioning of any community. Schools and educational programs that prioritize character education contribute to the raising of morally responsible individuals who value and practice social responsibility.
I don't think there's a way to really teach somebody being a good person is so hard, and it involves so many different factors.
I could prove to you how we could do it.
We're getting a little bit too general with things.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think people would commit more crimes or less crimes if they knew that a police officer was watching them at all times?
I don't think this is what we're talking about, bro.
You said you cannot teach people good. I'm asking a question. If somebody thought that somebody was watching their actions, would they behave differently?
Do you feel like you behave better when someone is watching your actions?
Absolutely. And in fact,
So you feel like you can't be good without someone there to observe it?
It's not a matter of you can't be good, is that you act better if you think that there is somebody watching and judging your actions.
That feels really unfortunate for you, because I want to do good because I think it's better for the people around me, not because someone's watching me.
I was asking the question would you be more or less likely to shoplift if a police officer was next to you in a department store? It's a very simple ethical question.
But how does that make me good or not? That just makes me worried about consequences. No, it makes me worried about consequences, you little faced man.
If you do not have consequences...
But consequences does not determine ethics.
The mark of an intellectual fool is throwing around pejoratives when they don't have wisdom. Remember that. So the question is this: if you do not believe there's a consequence to your action, why wouldn't you do the action?
See, that's again the ideology of consequentialism. I don't really subscribe to that.
There should be consequences.
No, but I think that consequences, your actions can exist outside of a vacuum of consequences, right? We can't make our decisions based on whether or not we think the actions will lead to a certain outcome, because those will always be random, right? So I revolve more around, we try to do things that we think will promote general pro-social attitudes. I think that is more likely to get us, other than worrying about that.
Let me ask you a hypothetical. This will tell me a lot. Is pedophilia wrong?
Pedophilia I consider to be wrong because it is actively damaging someone else, right?
But what if they say they're a minor attracted person and it's pro-social to be with a young person? Why are they wrong?
Do you know what pro-social means? Like, pro-social means, there's like pro-social and antisocial behaviors. It's like a theory of social psychology. Pro-social generally means like working together, socialization,
they're socializing with an 8-year-old. Why is that wrong?
Okay, that's not socializing, and you know it. Antisocial behavior usually means doing things that are considered rejecting socialization, like rejecting other people, pushing things away, promoting things that other people actively end up considering less.
So then should pedophiles go to prison?
Pedophiles go to... I do not know what's the best way to handle pedophilia? Because how do we know? I don't think that anyone should molest a child, God forbid.
But hold on.
I really don't.
Why shouldn't a pedophile go to prison?
What? Again, we're getting really off topic. Let's go back to the ideas of good and evil and
we're talking about
consequentialism.
college is a scam, and you're a perfect example, like one of the best
thank you.
I've ever seen to show the intellectual drivel that is caught on a college campus.
That was so satisfying to watch. Viewing human behavior through the lens of pro-social and anti-social behavior introduces a form of moral relativism that blurs the lines between right and wrong. This perspective suggests that behaviors are merely different rather than inherently good or bad, depending on their social context and consequences. She also misses the point of having consequences completely and instead resorts to name-calling Charlie. Everywhere we look in the universe, nothing exists out of nowhere, and Newton's third law is a clear example of that. Consequences are also how our species and societies have evolved. They not only promote a sense of justice and fairness, but also help incubate a sense of responsibility and integrity among individuals. It also establishes deterrence for undesirable behavior by providing tangible repercussions for actions deemed harmful or unethical. Establishing and upholding these standards does not dismiss the complexities of human behavior, but recognizes that a functioning society requires a foundation of agreed upon norms and values. I think we need more people like Charlie who encourage open debate and promote understanding between different viewpoints, and he always manages to keep it civil from his end at least, in the face of vile personal attacks. But what are your thoughts on this? Do you agree that modern college education is a scam? Let's get the conversation rolling in the comments down below.